Okay. Okay. So, guys, today we're talking about self belief. This has just been a topic that's been on my mind a lot the last little while. And so, something that I want to get into again today. And the reason is because, well, honestly, without self belief, you got nothing. And so we're going to be talking about that again today. But a quick reminder before we get into the podcast, the goal of this show, as always, is to help athletes build their dream careers in sport. Our goal is to help in every area of life. And honestly, more so than just the career in sport, help athletes build their dream lives. Like, you can be really good at your sport, but if nobody knows about you and nobody sees you, then nobody cares. And so what you need to understand every piece of the puzzle that allows you to reach the levels that you want to reach. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is where that all starts. And where that all starts is self-belief. So let's get into it, talking about self-belief in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dussel, and today we are talking about self-belief. Now, the reason we're talking about this is because, honestly, I see so many athletes that struggle so much with this. They think that they're going to, join a gym, and then that gym is going to carry them through to create the career that they want. They think they're going to hire a strength coach, and then they're just going to be motivated to go train all the time, and they're going to, magically be able to build this incredible career. But the big thing, they think they're going to hire a nutritionist and magically just be motivated to stay on the plan the whole time. Whatever it is, right? We do these things, we put that financial investment down, and then we just screw it up. And the reason that's so important, and the reason why you don't just magically get motivated to stick to the plan as soon as you make that hire, as soon as you make that purchase, is because it comes down to you. I speak to athletes every day that have huge dreams for their career. They're going to be world champions. They're going to, they're going to conquer the world. They're going to make millions of dollars. They're going to reach the top level. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And then we lay out the blueprint as far as how to train, what to eat, how often to train, how to recover, all of these things. And then they just don't stick to it. Oh, I can't, life's really busy right now. Or, oh, I can't because, it's just like, oh, I just really struggle to get to the gym in the morning, or whatever bullshit reason you want to come up with. And the truth is you can. The truth is you can, because people have done it before you and people will do it after you. The only difference is that the ones who are actually going to do it long term, and the ones who are actually going to be successful at it long term, are the ones who stick to the fucking process, are the ones who buy into the plans, are the ones who don't miss the training sessions, are the ones who show up on the days that they don't want to show up. Like, guys, as an example, one of the things that I always like to come back to is my own career in coaching. And the reason why is because there are so many parallels to building a career as a coach than building a career as an athlete. And I remember one day working at my last job where basically with this gym, there was a lot of really good things coming out of it, but the business model itself was just awful. And there were a bunch of us sitting in the staff room, and people were going through other jobs that were available. People were coming through and they were like, oh man, there's this job at this place and they pay $50,000 a year. And, there's this job over here. And, oh man, like if I was doing that, I'd be so much happier than where I'm at now. And I realized in that moment, I was sitting around with all these people who were talking about, all these other jobs that they could get and how it would be nice to have that nicer salary, all that. And I realized in that moment that there's literally nothing that could make me want to do anything else. Because I thought about the idea of, making $50,000 a year doing something different, and it just sounded terrible. I was like, I don't want to show up to an office every day and sit at a desk. I don't want to be working outside doing hard labor shit. I don't want to do any of those things. What I want is to be in the gym coaching athletes. And so even through the struggles working at that old place, not feeling like I was being well compensated, feeling like I was, working way too much and was just burnt out all the time. I would have rather to have been there than making more money working at a desk somewhere. And the reason is because I believed that this could be a career. I believed that despite what I heard from so many people of, strength coaches don't make money. Oh, you have to be in the NCAA bracket or else there's no way to make money at that. I knew something's going to come through. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. But if I keep moving forward, if I keep pushing for this, I'm going to make my fucking living coaching athletes. I've wanted it my whole life. I've gotten this close. I'm not giving this up to go work some shitty job somewhere. And that was the difference. I know a lot of coaches that were at that gym that aren't coaching anymore. And they're waking up doing the shitty labor jobs. They're waking up they're waking up going to the desk job from 9 to 5. But the reason that wasn't me is because even when shit was at its absolute worst, even when I felt like, everything was falling apart around me, I continued to move forward. And that's what so many of you guys are lacking. So many of you guys want to make it to these high levels in the sport. You want to do all these great things. You want to achieve so much, but then something doesn't go your way and you quit. Or you decide to put your training at the bottom of the priority list and it's like, oh yeah, I'll get to training, but I'll only get there if I do all of these other things first. Or, well, I've been training pretty hard lately, so I'll just take this week off and, go hang out with the boys. Or I remember one athlete I worked with a while back that decided to take 3 months off training. Guy wanted to be a UFC champion and decided to take 3 months off training because he didn't have a fight booked. And why do you think that's a good idea? And on the surface, a lot of people in a situation like that would say, well, I don't have a fight booked, so I'll just relax a little bit, but then I'll take it seriously once I have a fight. But what you guys don't realize is you need to take it seriously now in order to be ready when you have those opportunities. And even if you can take, 8 weeks before the fight comes up and get yourself ready, how much better would you have been if you took 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks? And a lot of the time, I feel like people understand that that's not the right way to do it. But subconsciously, there's something inside that makes you sabotage yourself. And I know that as well because I've run into that through my own time building a business. There have been so many times while I've been building this career, one of my favorite examples is last year was the first time I ever really started making any money. Last year was the first time I ever really kind of broke through past the I'm surviving and to the point of actually being comfortable. And I remember the only things that I was feeling when that started to happen was guilt. And I just felt like, I didn't deserve it. I felt like I shouldn't be there. It felt like, it didn't make sense. So I was just kind of worried that it was going to go away. And it caused me to start sabotaging myself. It caused me to stop showing up at my best. It caused me to stop working as hard because in my head, I was like, well, it's going to go away anyway. So this way I've got an excuse for when it does go away that I wasn't trying that hard anyway. But I started recognizing those patterns and I started realizing that I was doing it to myself. I was using all the excuses in the book. Oh, I'm not showing up as well today because I don't feel great, or I'm not showing up as well today because, the business is going well, so I don't need to push that hard anyway. But if you want to be successful long term, you need to push hard even when things are going well. Because otherwise, you are sabotaging yourself. Now, am I saying that if you just work really hard, then everything that you've ever wanted is for sure? Of course not. You're in a difficult industry. If you want to be an athlete, there's a lot to do that. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of struggle. There's a lot of sacrifice. You can work hard. You can spend your career, doing all the right things and still not make it to the top. But if you aim for working the way you need to the top, imagine how much further along the path you're going to get. Because if you aim for the top, if you aim to actually do the work required to get everything you've ever wanted, even if you fall 2 steps short, you're going to get a lot further than the person who aimed for halfway or the person who put in a half-assed effort. But where I really think that a lot of you guys are lacking is just the belief. You know, you're not willing to invest in a higher level coaching or make the move to a different city to train at a better gym or, you know, whatever it is, because you don't believe that you're going to make it anyway. So you feel like it's going to be a waste of time or a waste of money. You tell yourself that there's better reasons not to. Oh, I can't invest in a coach right now because, you know, I'm busy with school or I'm busy with work or, you know, money's tight or whatever it is. But is it because of that, or is it because you're not confident in your ability to achieve the dreams you have? Because a lot of people, I know in the beginning, when I was coming up as an athlete and as I started as a coach, I wanted to save every dollar possible. I wanted to just tighten up. I wanted to not spend anything. My attitude was the cheaper the better. And then I realized that if I wanted to succeed, I needed to hire people that could help me succeed. But it was taking a chance. And that was honestly, every single time I've done that, that's been one of the scariest things I've ever done. I remember when COVID hit, I invested $500. Actually, I ended up investing about $1,500 in multiple different coach development courses from Brett Bartholomew, who I still follow very closely and hoping to get out to actually meet in person sometime soon. And I remember thinking, this is $1,500. I don't really have $1,500. If I don't get a lot of value from these courses, this is going to be a huge waste of money. And it was a terrifying feeling because I thought, what if I don't get enough out of this and it's not worth it? But what it also did for me is it made me double down. It made me come to the realization that I just spent $1,500 on coach development. I need to take advantage of this, because if I don't take advantage of this money I just invested, then it's going to be a fucking waste. But it is up to me to make sure it's not a waste. And that's what I want to reinforce to you guys too. These investments that you can make in yourself, whether it's time, whether it's money, or anything else, these investments that you can make in yourself, they're a waste if you waste them. They're a waste if you waste them. But if you take advantage of resources in front of you, if you take advantage of coaching, if you take advantage of, you know, sessions with your coaches, of better gyms to work with, whatever it is that's going to help push you forward in your career, you can have all of those things that you want in your career. But if you're putting yourself in a position that you're investing money in something and then you're not showing up, guess what? It's not the coaching that wasn't worth it. You fucking wasted it. But why are you wasting it? Why are you not doing the things required to actually take advantage of the resources being put in front of you? And this is what I really want to come back to. And this is what I really want you to think about as you listen to this. Why are you not taking advantage? Because as much as it is the stupidest expression in the world, when you actually look at it with an adult brain, you only live once. YOLO. Absolutely hated that expression when I was growing up. But as I grew up more and more, I realized how fucking true it is. If you want to be a professional athlete, guess what? It's time to fucking go now. Because when you're 50 years old, you don't have the chance to do that anymore. So I understand you want to, you know, go out and party, and you want to do this and you want to do that, but you could do that for the rest of your life. So why are you not focused on the thing that you have a limited time to be able to achieve? Why are you wasting away the time you have? Are you just not that serious about the goal? Or do you not believe that you have what it takes to achieve it? So what I want to really let you guys come away from this podcast with is that if you are not succeeding or on the right path to succeeding when it comes to the goals you have for your athletic career right now, it's because of you. And I know that might sound harsh, and I know your first thought might be, fuck this guy, but it's because of you. There is something you're doing that is taking away from your ability to succeed in your sport. There is something you're not doing that could help you succeed in your sport. If you make the changes, you put yourself in a better environment, you find yourself a better paying job, you make the investment in a coach, you make the time investment to actually show up at your best, things are going to turn around for you. So what I want you to come away from this with is sit down and ask yourself, where am I not playing to my potential? What am I doing right now that is not reflective of the goals I have for my career? If I want to be a UFC world champion, making millions of dollars a year, making millions of dollars competing in my sport, what am I not doing right now that a UFC world champion would be doing right now? Or what am I doing right now that a UFC world champion would not be doing right now? And honestly, brain dump it. Take a notebook, note on your computer if that works better for you, or note on your phone if that works better for you, and just list everything. I'm not taking my training as seriously as I should. I'm eating like shit on the weekends. I'm not showing up when I don't feel good. I'm not investing in, better coaching to help me move further in my career. What are you not doing, or what are you doing that is not reflective of the goals you have? Because if you can list those out, then you can start to improve them. And the thing I want to really touch on with that too is be honest with yourself. Wherever you're at right now, that's where you're at. But if you're not super serious about your training, deep down, you know. Deep down, you're aware. Whether you want to admit it to other people or not, deep down, you know it. You know that you could be doing more. You know that you could be showing up and you're deciding to sleep in. You're deciding not to show up. You're deciding not to do the work you know you need to do. So be honest with yourself, because the only way this is going to change for you, and the only way you're actually going to be able to see what you've got and see if you had enough to make it, is if you make the fucking change and you start working on improving in the areas that you know you're slacking. So guys, I hope that was valuable. I hope you got some good stuff out of that. If you did, I would love to know what it is. Shoot me a message on social media. All the information on how you can do that is going to be linked in the show notes below. If you're watching this back on the YouTube channel or listening back on the podcast, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on my social media accounts, all of that good stuff, so that you can be in the mix when new episodes are dropping. And as always, my big ask of you is share the show with a friend, share it with a teammate, share it with somebody who's going to benefit from hearing this message. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.